All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our TensorFlow course, and we're still doing our malaria model subclass and module. Let's have a look at what we went over today. Now, today we actually did finish building out our model subclass and function, so let's get in a look at that. But first, we're gonna do some light reading. So to pick up where we left off yesterday, so this will inherit from layer. So we'll inherit from TensorFlow layer. Next, we will have an init method followed by a call method. Next, we can copy the feature extractor that we recently created and paste it to our subclass model, minus the model equals model in the model.summary. Next, we will add a super function and pass in as a parameter, passing as parameters, feature extractor and self. And then we will add a dot init method. Now that we have defined this, we can go ahead and use our layers as the attribute for this feature extractor layer. We will use the self.cov1, which will be equal to the cov2d filters equals 6 line. I'll show you that. I'll show you when we get there what we did with that. From there, we will have the self.batch1, which is going to be our batch normalization function. Next, we will have the self.pool1, which will get the max pool 2d. And then we just repeat this process so we can have the same thing for the self.cov2. Note we can use the same self.1 batch and self.pool1 since they are the same. Now we can start building our call method. Like I said yesterday, it was commented out for a reason because we weren't using it yet. Now that we're using it today, it's going to be uncommented and we're actually building it, which takes as input two parameters, self and x. Now this permits us to call each and every layer defined in our init method. We'll start with x equals self.cov1 x, which looks similar to our functional API. So the way it's built is going to look similar to the way we built our functional API. Then we will do the same for the rest of the selves. From here, we can just return x. Also note that we are going to pass in an additional parameter to our call method. So it's going to be call, function, or method, self, x, and then training. The training argument can tell us whether to use a given layer or not during the training process. But for now, all this is going to be used for the training. So we're going to use everything for the training as of now. Nothing is going to be left out. So that's just for, what do you call that there? Educational purposes. Now we can take off the rest of the code. We pasted from the functional API section, and this is what we have left. So you can see here, this is our model subclass function. You can see here class, feature extractor, our layer. This is our init method with self. This is our super function with feature extractor, self, and our init method following it. These are with self.cov1 equal cov2d. Like I told you, we're going to use, we just made it equal to the self.cov1. We made batch normalization equal to self.batch1. And we made max 2d equal to self.pool1. And we did the same thing for a self.cov2. You can see here, this is at different parameters. That's why we had self.cov2 to distinguish 1 and 2. Because this one's had different parameters than this one has 16 filters. This one has 6, but everything else seems to be the same. So yeah, we did that for the filter size. They are different. But as of batch 1 and pool 1, those are identical, so we left those the same. Then we built our call function, our call method. You can see here we have defined call, which takes in self and x. And it's supposed to be training also. Let me actually have that here. I didn't add it. Sorry about that. So yeah, our call method has 3 parameters, self, x, and training. I explained why we have the training there. And then this is what gets passed into it. No, this is not getting passed into it, but this is what makes up the call method. We have the x equals self.cov1, self x equals self.batch1. As you can see with the x's at the end, it does look pretty similar to the way we built our functional APIs because these functions here had the x on the end of them also before we transported them over. And then we deleted everything else that we didn't need, and then we're just going to return x. Now that we have all that done, we will be able to build our model. So after we build our model, we'll actually be able to initialize and run this subclass model. We didn't build the model yet, so we don't have anything to use that on. I've ran it just in case to make sure, but as you can see, it's still the same old information. We still have our original 3 models from yesterday, which were the whole layer, the feature extractor, and then the feature extractor with the classifying data whole layer or whole model. So that's what we have so far. So tomorrow we'll start building the model to actually implement the subclassing or the model subclassing, and then we can see exactly what it does and how it benefits us in our journey. But of course, I will keep you guys posted every step of the way. For now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.